another dinner here at Saltiness Isn't Bliss. On the menu tonight is Crescent roll casserole. Let's get into it, guys. I've got everything kind of laid out and prepped here. We're gonna go step by step. Even though it looks like a lot of stuff, it's really not. So it's not gonna be a ton of prep, but there will be a little bit involved in a couple of steps before we get it all in the oven. So we wanna start by preheating our oven to 375. We want to get a bowl. Any style bowl will work. This is just, I go with the clear to make it easier to show you guys what I'm putting in here and what I'm doing. So we want to work with about a cup's worth of chicken. Any style chicken that is boneless will work. We want to make sure it's cooked, and then you can shred it, you can cube it, you can slice it up pretty much any way you want. My great shortcut for this recipe is that I can find rotisserie style chicken that's already cooked and shredded in the grocery store. So this is a great time saver, and this is just a really versatile meat and food that I can use in a lot of different recipes. Worked out very well to use it in this one. I have added barbecue sauce to it, put it on some buns, and had, you know, like a pulled chicken sandwich type of thing. Anyway, so we want about a cup's worth of chicken. Now you can always tweak that, use a little more, use a little less. We're just going to dump that right in our bowl there. So there's that. Next up, we want about a quarter cup of cheese, any style and any type of cheese. So I've got shredded cheddar. You can go with any other type of cheese, and it doesn't have to be shredded. So just make that work for you. And then we want to add we want to add some herbs and seasonings to our cheese and chicken in our bowl. Again, you can use anything you like. I like to work with dried herbs, as a lot of you have seen. If I have fresh, those are always great too. And I want to keep my sodium low, so I am going with a salt-free seasoning. That will be to taste. So I probably put about a teaspoon in there. So there, that is pre-mixed. So we want to just give that a real good, sorry guys, I'll bring that a little closer. We want to give that just a real good blend, and we want to kind of break up any of the large pieces of chicken that are in there. Our chicken blend is going to go into some crescent roll triangles, so the smaller you can get the chicken, the better, because it will fit in there a little bit better. There's my chicken mixture all blended up. Now you want to take a tube of crescent rolls. You want to open it up, and you want to separate them all. The great thing is they already come. Blooper! Hubby coming in from outside. The great thing is they already come with dashes on them to kind of help you separate them into 8 triangles. So we want to just have those laid out however it's convenient for you, because now what we're going to do is we're going to put our chicken that we just mixed up with our cheese and seasoning onto each triangle, roll it up, and then that will go in a dish that's going to go in the oven. So our oven is preheating. Any size and any style oven safe dish will do, as long as you can fit all 8 in there. So that doesn't really matter. Make it work for you. So what we're going to do is kind of just start with a spoonful, kind of a heaping spoonful of our chicken. Plop it right in the center, and I'll lift this up so you guys can see. Plop it right in the center of our crescent roll triangle. Oh boy. So it looks something like that. And then as best you can, you want to just roll that up end to end. All right, that took a little finagling and a little tweaking to figure out exactly how to roll that up without all of my chicken mixture just kind of pouring out of there. It doesn't have to look pretty, because this certainly doesn't. But however you want to make that work, so that you pinch the ends and you seal it up as best you can to kind of hold that meat mixture in there. If any of you guys have some great tips on how to roll up crescent roll dough that looks nicer than this and kind of keeps everything inside, please comment down below. Let us know how to do that. In the meantime, we want to take our dish that we're going to put in the oven, and we want to give it a nice coat of cooking spray. And then once our triangles are full of chicken and ready, we're gonna just set them down in there. We'll repeat those steps until they are all filled and in our dish. Our dish will then go in the oven, a preheated oven, for anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes, or until our crescent rolls have a nice little golden brown on them. Okay, so I've got my crescents in the oven. Those are currently browning and cooking up. So now we want to move on to our next step. We are going to take a pot on the stove. We're going to put it on low heat. We may have to turn that up just a little, but for now we're going to start on low. You want to put a can of cream of chicken soup in there. All right, so can of cream of chicken soup, 3/4 cup of water. And then we're going to add in the rest of our cheese. Our total measurement is 1 cup. We put 1/4 cup in our chicken mixture. Now we're going to do the remaining 3/4 into our soup mixture. Again, any style cheese, any flavor of cheese would be just fine. I'm going with a shredded cheddar. I'm going to add that in there. So there's how that looks pre-mixed. I don't want that water to spill out. Just take a whisk or a spoon, whatever you usually work with, and we're just going to mix that until it's creamy and smooth. We've got our burner on low. We want to really keep an eye on the cheese. The idea here is just to mix this until our cheese starts to melt. So we don't want this to boil, because then it will probably start to burn on the bottom. We just want that cheese to melt up a bit, because once our crescent rolls are browned, we're going to pull that out of the oven, and this is going to go in there and mix with what we have in our baking dish. If you need to turn the heat up on the burner, feel free, but as soon as that cheese starts to melt and you start to get just a slight bubble in your pot, we do want to remove it from the heat, because like I said, we don't want that bottom to burn. Okay, so my crescents are out of the oven. They're not very pretty, but hey, they stayed together and they got all that tasty chicken and cheese and seasoning on the inside. So now what we want to do is take our cheesy soup mixture and we want to just pour it in and around our crescents. So we want to try not to completely submerge them, but just kind of get that soup around them. If you cover the tops a little bit, that's okay, because that will kind of thin down a bit as it heats up. So once it's all said and done, it should look something like that, where you still can see them peeking out of the top, but you have that nice thick layer of the soup throughout. And then we want to put it back in the oven for just another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat. All right, so there is our casserole fresh out of the oven, or piping hot out of the oven. Look how tasty. Okay, so let's get it on, well, in a bowl, not on a plate, because we want to be able to keep all that tasty soup mixture in there with it. Of course, you can ladle more of that in there if you want. So very last step is we're going to garnish the top with either fresh or dried parsley flakes. That is optional, of course, or you can use any other style herb that you like. So there that is. And then we're just going to break into that there. See all that chicken just pouring out of there? That is dinner tonight. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.